Hello everyone and welcome to this course on broad functions of Home Health Aide. The name of this unit is Introduction to a Home Health Aide and we are at lesson number 4, which is Understanding Patients' Rights. Let us now start the session. Lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand the patient's rights and their purpose, explain patients' rights in India, and provide health care in line with patients' rights. Introduction to Patients' Rights. In order to gain the confidence of the patient, a home health aide must understand the needs, requirements of treatment, and comfort of the patient. However, the patient has a right to agree or disagree on the care delivered to her or him by a healthcare provider. There are certain rules that are needed to be followed to protect the rights of the patients. Therefore, a home health aide must be aware of patients' rights. Patients' rights are the basic rules of conduct between patients and healthcare provider. Patients' rights offer guidance and protection to patients by stating the responsibilities that a hospital and its staff have toward them and their families during hospitalization. Patients' rights encompass legal and ethical issues, including a patient's right to privacy, the right to quality medical care without prejudice, the right to make informed decisions about care and treatment options, and the right to refuse the treatment. The purpose of patient's right is to ensure that, without exception, all persons in all settings receive ethical treatment. Patients' rights in India. Patients' rights vary in different countries and often depend on the cultural and social norms within the country. In India, the patient's rights include right to access to care, right to respect, right to privacy, right to refusal to treatment, right to consent, right to transfer and continuity of care, and right to complain. Right to access to care. If a patient decides to get admitted in a hospital, he or she shall have equal access to treatment regardless of race, creed, gender, religion, national origin, or socio-economic status. Once the patient is admitted in the hospital, medical staff should not discriminate the patient in any way and deliver the appropriate care and treatment. Right to respect. The hospital should take the religious and the cultural sentiments of the patients into consideration. All patients admitted in a hospital should be treated with equal respect. Home health aide should communicate with the patient and their attendants politely, regardless of the patient's background, religion, caste, and creed. Right to privacy. The medical history and the treatment plan that is delivered to a patient are considered to be private details of the patient. Healthcare providers and health professionals should not discuss these details with anyone unless approved by the patient. Healthcare providers and health professionals must keep the medical history and diagnosis of the patient confidential. Home health aide should ensure that these details are not to be discussed with anyone other than the patient or the patient's care team. Right to refusal to treatment. If the patient does not agree with the diagnosis or the treatment plan given to her or him, she or he has the right to refuse it. Healthcare providers and health professionals cannot force a patient to follow the treatment plan that is not agreed upon by the patient. Home health aide should respect the patient's decision regarding care and treatment given to her or him. Right to consent. A patient should be provided with options on the treatment plan. That means alternate treatment methods should be suggested. The hospital can deliver the treatment only after the patient chooses from the options given to her or him. No decision can be taken without the patient's approval. Home health aide should inform the patient about the care that is being delivered and proceed only if the patient agrees to the same. Right to transfer and continuity of care. The patient can discontinue the care that is being delivered at any point and request for a transfer to another hospital. The hospital should facilitate for the shift of the patient to another hospital and make arrangements according to the condition of the patient for the transferring process. For example, the hospital can arrange for ambulance with required equipment and doctors for transferring the patient from one place to another. Home health aide should cooperate with the patient and ensure that the patient is comfortable during the shifting process. Right to complain. A patient can raise concerns about the behavior of any individual or any service that is being delivered by an individual associated with the various departments in the hospital. The hospital must ensure that the complaint of the patient is recorded and the required action is taken to attend to the complaint. In the case of complaint, Home Health Aide should offer an explanation and take up the required corrective action to satisfy the patient. Home Health Aide should take every possible measure to avoid any complaint from the patient and keep the services at the topmost level. Key learnings. Let us now summarize the key learnings from this session. In this session, we have learned about the meaning and purpose of patients' rights, importance of providing healthcare in line with patients' rights for a home health aide, and overview of patients' rights in India.